As a BIM model is created, each element in the model has stored settings that affect how the element will appear when it is flattened to a 2D drawing for working drawing purposes. For this tooltip, we'll dive into how the layers are attributed to the element and how we can change them. I'm going to select all the siding walls in the model, and we'll look at their layer settings. I left-click to select one, right-click and select Select All Similar, and then right-click again to review all of their properties. Changes I make to the first initial wall will occur on all the walls. In the Walls dialog box, select the Line Work tab. Here, each component of the wall is listed on the left, and the component's corresponding layer information is listed on the right. The first 4 components for the wall refer to when a wall is in a hidden line view in a 3D view, section view, or an elevational view. We can see that the lines to illustrate the walls in those views will all be on a layer entitled Walls. The button to the right of the layer name gives us access to the entire list of layers if we want to change this. You can see in the Layers dialog box that each layer has a color, line type, and line weight. When a wall is illustrated in an elevation view, the lines will be blue, a continuous line, and the line weight will be light. By clicking on any of these features, you can alter how that layer will illustrate when the model is put on a worksheet. If you want to add a new layer, say for example you don't want both the interior components and the exterior components on the same general walls layer, you can click to Add button and describe the new layer that you want to create. For example, I'll create a Walls Elevation Exterior layer name that is red and a continuous line type and a medium line weight. Just as an example, I will click OK to return to the Walls dialog box. The exterior surface shows that it is using the color, line type, and line weight of the layer Walls Elevation Exterior. If you click on these options, you can deviate from the layer options for the walls selected. It is generally best practice to follow the layer properties, and if you need to alter them, create a new layer. Beneath it also lists the hatch pattern that is associated with this component. For the exterior wall I selected, the exterior surface component has a horizontal siding pattern. This hatch can be also on its own layer. The layer is listed below, and it currently has the same layer, walls, that exterior surface had for the lines. This means they would have the same color and line weight. I want the hatch to have a significantly lighter pen weight, so I click on the button beside the layer, Walls, to go in to look for a new layer. When I scroll up, the layers are in alphabetical order. I see the layer Hatch that is magenta color and has a very light line weight. Perfect. I select it and click OK. The 2D components are associated to the wall when it is in plan view. We can see that the core, the stud portion of the wall, and the finished surfaces are all separate components and therefore can be on separate layers, so they print and appear differently in a plan view. Each one also has a hatch pattern associated to it, so you can also select a pattern and the layer that you want it on, so it appears the correct color and the line weight. I will select all the 2D components at the same time in the list and simultaneously change the layer for all of them to the hatch layer. I will click OK to accept the changes I made to the layers for this model. Now let's see how this translates when I insert an elevation onto a worksheet view. I will click the To Elevations tab to insert a front elevation. I select Insert, Smart Views, Define Smart View, or select the Define Smart Views button. In the Insert Views dialog box, I select the Elevations tab. I will change the view type to Pattern so we can see the hatch patterns. I then click Insert. A copy of the elevation will attach to the cursor. Left-click to insert it. We can see the elevation and the colors translated for each layer. I hope that makes your work easier.